Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ji. So when we talk about the concept of karma, in our ideology, in our thinking, what is karma?
The law of cause and effect.
Okay.
So good intent, good words, good actions
Right.
will bring about a good effect. And the not so good intent, the not so good words, and the not so good actions will bring about the not so good effects.
Ji.
And when we talk about karma, we are also talking about the eternity of life.
Okay.
So it's not only words, deeds, and actions from this life,
Right.
but because life is eternal, the effects that we may experience in this lifetime may be from a past life.
Right.
Right? So sometimes when things are going wrong in our lives, we are not able to connect and we say, I haven't done anything to anybody.
Right.
I can't remember having hurt this person.
Right.
Why am I being put through this? So the answer to that lies in the fact that though we may have not done it in the recent past, we may also not have done it in this lifetime. It may be a previous lifetime. It also explains why children are born in different circumstances. So one child is born perfect and beautiful, but another child may be physically challenged, another child may be mentally challenged. One child is born in a really rich, happy family,
Right.
another child is born in poor and not so happy circumstances.
Right.
And that is because the law of karma is at play.
So basically what you're saying is the concept of casualty, what you're talking is that the actions in the previous births are what you're reaping right now.
And also actions in this
And the
lifetime.
present also, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you talk about the concept of intent, could you elaborate that when we say that intent, you talked about that it has to be there. So what is this intent and how to be, kind of create that intent in a positive manner?
So sometimes we think that it's only our words and our actions that result into effects. But our intent and our thoughts are far more powerful than our words and our actions. So let's take the example of if I'm working in an organization and I'm not having a very good relationship with my boss,
Right.
right? And I have the intent of having his job maybe, but to his face, I'm very nice. I say the right things. I come across as very supportive. My actions seem to express that I think he's a great person, he's a great boss, he's a great manager, I enjoy working with him. But behind, in my mind, I'm thinking, how is it that I can move him from that position so I can take that position?
Right.
Can I conspire with my other colleagues? Can I speak to his boss? So though my words and actions don't express that,
Right.
I'm thinking that that is my intent, and that also has a powerful effect. In fact, a far more powerful effect.
Okay.
Right.
So your intent is what gives you good karma or bad karma. Are you trying to say this?
It plays a huge role,
Okay.
far more than we realize.
Right.
So let's say if I am expressing something to somebody, I'm saying something hurtful, but my intent was never to hurt that person.
Right.
Right? Through my words, I hurt them, so I will cause a negative effect.
Right.
But because my intent was pure, the effect of that cause is far lesser than actually having these negative intents and negative thoughts and saying positive things.
Okay. Okay. Now the question arises, you talked about good karma and bad karma. Is there a way, can you escape bad karma?
I think we can transform our karma for sure. The way to transform it is to keep doing good, right? So let's say there is a cup of dirty water and we want to change that dirty water to clean water. So we keep filling clean water in it until the dirty water is completely overflowed. There will be a point of time when the dirty water is completely spilt out of the cup and there's just clean water.
Right.
So our bad karma is similar to that. Right? As we keep making good causes, we are slowly but surely eliminating our negative causes. But what happens is when we are going through the effects of our karma, we are suffering, right?
Right.
Because we've made a cause, we are reaping the effect. So I'm suffering today. At that point of time, in fact, most of us tend to cause more bad karma. Because I'm suffering, I'm not able to deal with the suffering. I feel negative, and that expresses itself.
Right.
At that point, instead, as I'm suffering, if I halt it and say, you know what, no matter what the situation is now, I'm not going to cause and think more negatively and say more negative words. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to get upset. I can actually halt that. But a number of us move in the opposite direction, and we worsen that.
So Pooja, like you have said that you can change or transform, you say you are using this word transform. we have heard many times and seen also many times that people who have done good. So why is it that some of the actions we do are being erased completely or fastly, whereas others just keep on continuing coming back to us?
If I have a health karma, right, I tend to fall sick, and I've been falling sick as a child. And every time I get better, some other ailment comes, and again I fall sick.
Right.
And again I get better, and something else happens. So it's repetitive in my life, right? And why is that repeating? Why am I not able to halt it?
Right.
So it's clearly a karmic pattern in my life. My karmic pattern is health.
Right.
Somebody else may have the karmic pattern of, financial karma, where they make money, but every time 2 years down the line, they're back to square one and they don't have any money. So all of us have karmic patterns in our life. So there are some areas in our life based on what causes we've made and how intense the cause was, what duration did we keep repeating that same cause over and over again, maybe over one lifetime or over several lifetimes.
Right.
That manifests, right? And that's why sometimes we have those repetitive patterns in our life, which we find so hard to erase.
Okay. And this is the action what we are doing which leads to our karma. But with a change in the thought also, can there be a change in the karma?
Totally. Because actions start at the thought level.
Right.
Right. So where I was talking about this example of my boss, I don't have a good relationship with him and we both don't get along. So I'm thinking, how is it that I can eliminate him from this position so that I don't have to deal with that karmic relationship, that negative energy.
Right.
And so I try to, get together with other colleagues and we think about a way of how we can displace him from that position.
Right.
So what's happening is I'm causing more negative causes, and it all started with a thought.
Right.
And then I started taking action and started approaching my colleagues. Has he been bothering you? Can we do something? And can we go speak to his manager?
Right.
But at that point, if instead of going in that direction, I said, you know what? I'm going to have a heart-to-heart chat with him. I want to resolve this.
Right.
I'm going to have a conversation. I want to understand why is it that we can get along.
Right.
Right? Because we both are working hard. We are both intelligent. Let's try to resolve this.
Right.
So the moment I moved away from that negative thought and decided to progress towards, a communication where we can both win.
Right.
I halted that karma. I changed my karma at that very instant.
So before the break, like you were mentioning about the concept of karma, now the question is, we always see it in the light of reward and punishment. Now, is it the right, concept, the way to see it, or you should just accept as things are happening?
I personally don't view it as reward or punishment, right? It implies that there is somebody up there above who's going to punish me for the wrong things I do and who's going to reward me when I'm being good.
Right.
But if there is whatever higher power we believe in, whether it's God, the universe, or whatever source we ascribe to,
Right.
that source is only a loving source. So there can be no God who's angry.
Right.
There can be no universe who wants to punish.
Right.
Right. So if as children of a loving God,
Right.
I can look at myself as a parent, right? So if my child does something wrong,
Yeah.
do I really want them to suffer? Will I go to the extent of punishing them so that they suffer? Will that make me feel better, more powerful? Definitely not. And in
Right.
the same way, the universe and God, or whoever it is, they don't want to punish us.
Right.
Right? They're only forgiving. So there is no point looking at it as reward or punishment.
Right.
Yes, it's cause and effect.
Okay.
But it's not punishment. In
Okay.
fact, Buddhists view karma
Right.
as mission. So if I'm going through health issues, maybe cancer, suffering a lot,
Right.
Buddhists tend to view this as a mission because when I recover from it through the power of my prayer, which gives me the wisdom to take the right action, take the right medicine, go to the right doctor, I now look at it as I went through it for a purpose.
Right.
There is a reason for this. Let me now help others who are going through this,
Right.
so that they can change their situation as well.
Okay. Now, in the concept of relation to karma, what we are talking, could you just talk a little bit about the concept of reincarnation and rebirth? How is this related?
Because life is eternal, we spoke about it in the previous segment where we
Right.
said that, some child is born in a rich and a happy family. Another child is born in a very poor family and not the most happy circumstances. And that is clearly a result of causes that we've made, right? That plays a role in the place that we are born.
Right.
And while I was talking about Buddhism, in fact, Buddhists believe that we take on our karma.
Okay.
So when the Buddha was preaching the law, all of us put up our hand and said,
Right.
you know, I'm going to choose this situation. So I said maybe health, somebody else said a child's health, somebody else said I'll take on financial karma. And I will transform that situation in my life
Right.
and help others after that to transform their situation. I can't help somebody else if I haven't experienced the suffering.
Right.
So to help somebody else, I am willing to take on the suffering,
Okay.
transform it, and then go out there and help others.
So from this question, the question rises that is karma transferable? For example, if I love someone, can I take those karmas of that person I love onto me?
I think the only person who would want to take on somebody else's karma is a parent, right?
Right.
I cannot.
Well, no, there are other chances also. Yeah. Anybody,
Yes.
if or he or she wants, can this be done?
If we love somebody and we see them suffering and we say, you know, I want to take it on.
Right.
That's what you're referring
Yeah.
to. So while we can help them and we can be a source of support. So let's talk again about somebody who's having a health issue, right? They are suffering. I
Right.
cannot take that suffering on, but what I can do is support them. I can love them. I can be there for them. I can take care of them.
Right.
But I cannot take on their illness because it's their life's journey.
Right.
And just as they have their life's journey, I have my life's journey, right? So I am dealing with causes
Right.
that I have made, and I'm reaping the effects of that, and nobody else can take that away. Though they
Right.
can support me, I cannot do that for anybody
So
else.
basically, as you sow, so shall you reap.
Yes.
Whatever you are doing, you are the benefactor, or you are going to be suffering from whatever you are doing.
Yes.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for this perspective.